Welcome to Monday. I hope you had a nice weekend. It is on Monday, getting ready for our week of meditation together. And we're in the Torah portion, Re'eh, which has one of the great openings that serves our spiritual lives. Re'eh means to see. To see, to be aware, to be enlightened, all of that. And the first line says, see, I put before you blessing, curse, good, evil. It's up to you to choose what direction you go in. And what's interesting about it is part of the first sentence is in the plural and part of it is in the singular, which means the word lifnechem, which is before you, is in the plural, but re'eh is in the singular. So one of the great commentaries on this is the idea that it's said to all of us, in front of all human beings, is positive and negative. But it's up to each one of us as individuals to find our place within that. How do we react? How do we act? How do we make decisions? What are the kinds of decisions that we make? Do we choose between the side of doing right or the side of negativity? And I think each one of us every single day has this right in front of us. We have the potential to do what we need to do in a positive way, and we have the potential to mess things up, to do things wrong. We are human beings after all, and we don't always make the right decisions every moment of the day. So I think what I love about this is, I think it's very true. One of the things that Judaism says about our behavior as human beings is that we have both sides inside of us. We have the positive impulses and the negative impulses. It's called Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Ra. I've talked about that before here. And that Yetzer Tov, that inclination inside of us for goodness, and Yetzer Ra, that inclination inside of us, or that which is created inside of us for evil, or I just like to say towards the negative. And we're constantly battling those two things, as opposed to the idea that that we're sinful and we need to take care of that. It's more like we have that side and we have the other side. And then, lest you think that the Yetzer Ra is all negative, in Midrash, Midrash Rabbi, which is the great Midrash that carries lots of rabbinic decisions and stories, they mention that if it weren't for the Yetzer Ra, there'd be no houses built, there'd be no children born, there'd be no kind of push for creativity. And that Yetzer Hara, sometimes that negative side, also contributes to this. It is curious that in my studying for the teaching this week, I came across a couple of sections that talked about how a person who doesn't reflect on what they do, many times that person can be extremely successful because they don't think about how they're affecting others. They don't wonder, am I hurting this person's feelings? Is this coming across negative? And they don't think about that. So it's almost like the Yetzer Ra kind of has free reign to do what it needs to do to get by, be successful, accomplish. And it doesn't have that Yetzer Tov you have to cultivate. Indeed, there's another midrash that talks about how we are born with Yetzer Ra, the inclination for the negative and evil, and that it's only when we're 13 years old that the Yetzer Tov comes into it, because we know the difference between good and evil. And the example they give is an interesting example, right? A 2-year-old, if they knocked a wall down and it killed somebody, they would have no regret, no feelings of regret. They wouldn't realize what they had done. That's how they're getting this idea that they can do, children, babies can do negative things that cause pain to others, but they won't feel it themselves. That's kind of what that's about there. So that the Yetzer Tov is that which balances our Yetzer Ra. And it's all right there for us. Notwithstanding that midrash I just said that puts it inside of us when we're 13 because we know all the mitzvot now and have to abide by the commandments. I think it might come a little bit earlier, but it is true that in children they don't have that. I mean, we have to teach that sense of good and evil. We have to teach that sense of this is a right way to be, or this, we don't want you to do this other kind of behavior. But I think what's important for us to think about today, and especially as we're doing our quiet time and our breathing, is when the thoughts come into our head, are these negative thoughts? And I'm not even talking about the negative thoughts about ourselves, that's almost a different story. But are we blaming others for things? Are we not taking responsibility? Are we looking at what we're doing that might cause some negativity and see where our place is in that? These are the kinds of things we can think about, or notice, I guess is the way to put it. Notice in our meditation, so that we can identify for ourselves when that negative impulse is taking over, when the positive impulse exists, and how we can kind of navigate through those impulses. We'll delve into this a little bit more as the week goes, but for now, let's get ourselves into a position where we can meditate. And all we're doing, very simply, is concentrating on our breath. I know that I say this, I'm a little bit of a broken record, but that's okay. There might be people, might be some of you that need a little bit of a refresher. The idea here is to find stillness inside of us. The idea is to clean our thoughts so that we can allow a reflection to come into them. Sometimes our thoughts take up so much space in our minds. True thoughts, rumor thoughts, false thoughts, all kinds of thoughts. That part of what we do in our meditation is to harness that so that we don't let it kind of become an avalanche of negative thought. So all we're really doing is breathing naturally, not trying to change our breath, not trying to force our breath, and just feel the way the breath comes in. It doesn't mean that you don't take big breaths. If your body feels like it needs a big breath, as I just did, by all means. The only rule really is to try to concentrate on your breath coming in and out of your body. As a little bit of a reminder, the 3 words for soul in Judaism, ruach, which is actual wind, which I think is the breathing out. There is the nefesh, which comes right at the bottom of breathing out before you breathe in, and that moment you breathe in, right when you're about to breathe out again. It's that resting moment between them. And the neshama is the wholeness of the breath through our bodies, through our souls. So as we breathe, we give life to ourselves. As we breathe, we take this very moment of presence and we stay in it. I was thinking, nature has no judgment. Nature doesn't reflect. It just exists. And as we breathe and just allow things to be as they are, for now, that's what we're doing. We're becoming kind of at one with nature, which just exists without judgment. So if we can try to get ourselves to that place where we notice our thoughts, bring ourselves back to our breath in love and kindness and chesed, but all we really want to do is concentrate on just this area of our bodies, how the breath feels coming in and coming out, and as the thoughts take us away from it, just bring yourself back in love to that neutral place of the present moment, where we're not thinking about what's back there, we're not thinking about what's in front of us, but just allowing space so that we can come back into it in 20 minutes or so, refreshed. If you want to notice the sensations as you breathe in through your nose, the cold air, and as you breathe out, the warm air. Remember just to allow things to be as they are. No need to change anything. As you breathe, you might feel sensations in your body. Just notice the sensations. Just a little reminder that as your thoughts take you away from your breath, sometimes it's hard to notice. So the moment you do notice, just bring yourself back in love, in kindness, just to the breath. just noticing our thoughts and then bringing them back. For our last several minutes together, we've sunk down inside of ourselves and concentrated on our breathing, and it's important now to bring some health and safety into our lives. So with each breath, we ask, may I feel safe? May I feel healthy? This is our Monday. May I feel safe? May I feel healthy? May I feel healthy? May I feel safe? With each breath, offer yourselves safety and health. You may be safe, but you might not feel safe. And you may be healthy, but not feel it. We're asking for these emotional feelings, safety, health. Two of the most important things that are going through all of our hearts and minds right now. May I feel safe. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. In each breath, offer yourself health or safety, or both. May I feel safe and healthy. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe. If you'd like to invite someone to stand before you, someone you love and care about, or someone that you're having difficulties with, and offer this to them. May you feel health. May you feel safe. May you feel safe and healthy. May you feel safe. And then we can bring it back to ourselves for just a couple of breaths where we can ask for feelings of safety and health. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel health and safety. Just a couple of breaths there. For our last little time together, let's go back into our breath. Just find stillness one last time. Just tap into your breath, into this moment of now. Just allow things to be as they are for now. If you have a little pain or you have a little nagging tightness, just let it be for now. Let it just exist as you do. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found it soothing, peaceful, still. May you feel health. May you feel healthy. May you feel safe. May you feel safety. I hope you have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.